How about militarism? Allah says in the Quran that only defensive warfare is just warfare. You can't commit an act of aggression, certainly not an act of terrorism. That's nowhere envisaged in the Quran. And how did, people say, well, jihad means holy war. It doesn't. There was holy war going on, but it's not in the Quran. That concept is not anywhere expressed in the Quran. And when people say that jihad is holy war or aggressive war or terrorism, that's just plain wrong. Jihad means roughly what zeal means in our culture. And Allah says, for instance, wage jihad for the Quran. That is, preach the Quran. Spread the good word. And getting self-control is an act of jihad. Now, if you get into a just war, you can consider that you promote that zealously as jihad. How did the holy war come up? Well, the verse that is constantly cited is the so-called sword verse. The word doesn't occur there or anywhere in the Quran. It occurs all over the place in the book of Revelation of the New Testament, but nowhere in the Quran. And the episode that is often used is that when Muhammad was driven out of Mecca to Medina, and then his own tribe, the Quraysh, attacked Medina, and they were able to fight back. But Mecca was a great pilgrimage center for many years because of the Kaaba, the great cubical temple, holy place. It's still where pilgrims process around when they go there every year. When they were driven out of Mecca, the Kaaba was taken over by pagans, by worshippers of various gods. And by the way, the only enemy in the Quran is idolaters, that is, pagan believers in different gods. And when people came in caravans to Mecca, and they had driven out Muhammad, they put up idols of their gods in this holy place. It's a holy place that they say had actually been established by Adam's progeny. Then it was wiped out in the deluge, but it was refounded by Abraham, and that's why it's so holy to Abraham's descendants of the Islamic faith. Abraham is, of course, the father of all three faiths. When they went back, Muhammad and his followers, to Mecca, they wanted to strike a truce, like the peace of God in the Middle Ages, in the temple area, and say, no one can kill or fight in this area. And in the sword verse, it says that after 4 months, you can respond to the people who have attacked you. But after 4 months, that's the length of the treaty that they had struck. And what they did was ask, while the treaty was in force, what if we are attacked? And they were attacked by the idolaters. And Allah tells Muhammad, you can't fight back in the holy area. You have to observe the truce even if they don't. But after 4 months, then you can lie in wait for the ones who had actually attacked you and fight them back. Not their families, not bystanders, not civilians, only the ones who had attacked you. Now, out of that, we get the claim that Islam is fighting a jihad against other faiths. There are no other faiths but idolaters, because Allah struck the covenant with the Jewish faith and the Christian faith, as well as the Islamic faith.